What's going on, USPHL fans? Dan K and the Dan K Show Playoff Edition coming at you alongside me, Lucas Jones. We're ready for our three things. Thing number one, everyone's rushing in Charlotte. And they're rushing to Boston. That's where they're rushing to after the Elite and USP3 squads go undefeated in postseason play. Heading off to Boston at both levels. Congratulations to the folks down in Charlotte. Thing number two, we're going to talk about it later. Game of the year. Game of the year at any level, any sport, any time. Hampton Roads Whalers, Florida Eels battling at the elite level. Seconds left, less than a minute left. And who comes in and ties it? The Wizard of Osmondson, followed by my man, Johnny M. John Monkovich, Johnny Hockey. We'll talk about it a little later. Game of the year right there, folks. And thing number three, Lucas just let me know. I let Lucas know. We let each other know. Dan K Show is moving to the Dan K Show YouTube page after the season. We're going to continue talking hockey, talk NHL. We're going to talk all sports, all things, all the time. We're going to be talking junior hockey offseason as well. Who's going to the NHL draft, who's moving up in the NCDC division, and what tenders are being signed. We're going to be letting you know everything you need to know in the hockey world all off season long. With those three things in mind, I think it's time for us to talk playoff hockey. Lucas, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready as well. Let's do this Dan K Show Playoffs Edition. All right, time to talk playoffs, Lucas, and I think we both wore a little bit outfit. What do we wear here today, Lucas?
Well, we picked out our most Springfield Picks colors to commemorate their win this weekend.
Salute to the Springfield Picks. What a big upset. I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest upset in USPHL history. The Jersey Hitmen, the franchise to beat in this league. They win year after year after year. Just Deneen Cup champions. Every time you turn around, the Hitmen are raising hardware. First round of the playoffs, the two-seeded Hitmen upset. 2-game sweep by the Springfield Picks. Lucas, what led to this gargantuan upset, David over Goliath?
Well, you know, we're looking at the box score, Dan, and you just see the amount of offense that the Picks were able to put up.
Yep.
You know, scoring goals, taking advantage of their opportunities, but then we check the other side.
Yeah.
You know, because the tail of the tape is always two-sided, and we looked at the defense. And man, what a defensive showing they put on.
It's incredible. And, you know, a lot of bodies in front of the net to block shots. And that tells you how good the Hitman offense is, because this goaltender, my man, Connor Murphy, it wasn't no luck of the Irish here, Lucas, 97 shots on goal in a 2-game span, 93 saves. This guy stood on his head. Lucas, we talk about it all the time. Goaltenders in the playoffs, they become the most important player on the team. The players want to make fun of the goaltender all year long, right? He's the quirky guy. He's the different guy. He's out there. He's on planet Mars, right? Space cadets. But come playoff time, just how important does a goaltender become?
Oh, well, you know, I always talk about defense. I love defense. Great defenses are always on my radar. But if you want to talk goaltenders, I mean, look no further than Connor Murphy, how he took 97 shots, blocked 93 of them. It creates opportunities, because every one of those shots is a chance for your team to reset if they cover up the puck and go to face-off. Every one of those shots is a way to change the momentum, to send the puck down the other end of the ice. It keeps the flow of the game moving, and, you know, it keeps your team in it mentally as well. Because when you see that they've scored 1 goal, maybe 2 goals, it keeps you in it mentally. Because we've seen a number of times that you get a bunch of goals up on the board, and it's tough to play.
Yep.
But when you have a competitive game for all 3 periods, man, it just elevates the heart and soul of a team to another level.
Now, Lucas, not the only winners there in that Springfield Picks wing. The Picks aren't the only ones who won. Folks at home win here. Mikhail Stanil. We're going to get to see some more of Mr. Stanil out there. This is a guy on the NHL draft watch list. This is one of the top prospects in the game of hockey, and you're going to get to see him take on the Islanders Hockey Club, the depth on the Islanders Hockey Club, Lucas. How can Mr. Stanil and his Springfield Picks, how can Coach Patrick Tabb get over the mountain that is Sean Tremblay?
Well, IHC has such a great organization, and we've talked about them all year. But I think what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to keep playing their brand of hockey.
Yeah.
They're going to have to play physical. They're going to have to try to open up the ice. And to a certain extent, you're going to have to beat IHC at their own game. They are not ones that are going to break down from the plan. They are going to follow that plan because the plan works. And so I think the Picks are going up against IHC. They're going to have to get bodies in front of the net. They're going to have to try to open up some shooting lanes. They're going to have to play aggressive hockey. You're not going to be able to sit back on Sean Tremblay.
Lucas, let's talk about being giant killers here. This is a team, you can tell it's in the mentality now. When you beat a team like the Hitmen, when you go out there and you take a 2-game sweep over the defending, 2-time defending, 5 out of the last 6 years defending, Deneen Cup champion Jersey Hitmen, how does that work on a team's psyche? What does that make you feel like going now into Andover to take on the Islanders Hockey Club?
Well, you want to talk about momentum. That's the ultimate in momentum. They came in on the wild card. They were the 7th seed coming in to the playoffs, and it's another reason why I love that wild card format, giving that one-team playoff to build some momentum, fight your way in. Between that and beating the Hitmen, it validates what you're doing as a team. It validates what you're doing as hockey players. It says, we've got a good program, we've got a good plan, we've got the talent. We have all the tools, and now it's up to us to continue to use them regardless of who we're facing.
This Picks win, huge. Toby Harris goes back to the drawing board here. I don't want to know how good this Hitmen team is going to be next year, because watch what this guy's going to do at the NCDC level. A loss for the Hitmen will not be taken lightly. Jim Hunt, Toby Harris going to retool, rebuild, reconstruct, and come back better than ever. That's one guy you don't want to upset. Jim Hunt, Toby Harris, you do not want to make them angry. They're going to be ready to go. Let's just see what the Hitmen can do next year. But now, it's time to talk about the Boston Junior Bruins. Could this be their year? They're trying to get over that hump. The last 2 seasons, I thought they've had a team good enough to make a run for the finals. They've been knocked out each year. This year, they get a little revenge on South Shore. 2 years ago, South Shore, as the 6th seed, knocked out the 3-seeded Bruins. This year, not the same. The 3-seeded Bruins sweep the South Shore Kings. How big has Nick Polsinelli been as an addition to Gus Van Ness and the rest of these guys out in Boston?
Well, it's almost the ultimate in late trades, late additions to the team. It's that guy down the stretch that kind of jumpstarts that team. It's a little bit of fresh blood getting injected into that team right there. And just the amount of skills, the skill set that he brings to that Bruins organization, which is already one of the best in the Premier, is just one of those things that it's like an X factor. It's like you can never quite measure it, but you definitely know it's there, and I think it's going to help them down the stretch here.
You want to talk about injecting life into a team? How about when they picked up Brady Jones? I think that's the story of this Boston Bruins team. It's who they've picked up this year to go along the accoutrement with the talent they've already had in guys like Gus Van Ness at the top of this team. This is a solid Bruins team. I picked them before the season, before they had Jones and Polsinelli, and I tell you what, I'd pick them again. This is a strong Bruins team, and I think this is the team that has the best chance to take down the Founders Cup champions. But I tell you what, Sean Tremblay does not want to go 2 years in a row of winning the regular season title and not taking home a championship. This guy's going after it. Moving on past the Premier, let's go to Elite Hockey. And Elite Hockey, we've got the Chicago Cougars who just upset the Forest Lake Lakers. Moving on to take on the Wisconsin Rapids River Kings, a familiar matchup to Lucas and I, because we brought you exclusive coverage of the Heritage Classic out in Chicago. Lucas, talk about this matchup. How did the Cougars finally put a win up on the board and then 2 wins up on the board against the River Kings?
Well, we went to the Heritage Classic. It was such a great game. Being outdoors between the two teams was a phenomenal game. And obviously, these two teams have met each other quite a few times this year already.
Yeah.
So I think what the Cougars have to do right now is they have to go back. They have to look at the footage. They have to figure out what happened in the last couple of games. From my end, what I'm looking at, the Cougars have absolutely got to open up those shooting lanes. That is their number one key. You are not going to be able to squeeze a puck by the River Kings.
Nope.
You are going to have to get a hard shot from up on the blue line, the top of the circle. You're going to have to get a clear line of sight. And the way that they do that is by spreading out that defense, making that pace of the game a little bit faster, trying to catch the River Kings off guard. At the same time, Dan, they're going to have to guard their own goaltender, get some bodies in front of the net. You're not going to want to give them the same open lanes that you're trying to achieve because it puts a lot of pressure on your goaltender.
That's it. And Eric Schutte, the goaltender of the year right now in my mind. This kid is tearing it up for the Wisconsin Rapids River Kings. Last year we saw Jared Young of the Dells Ducks take them to a title. It was your squad. You picked them. This year I had the River Kings, and you see just what goaltending can do come playoff time. Eric Schutte going to be tough to deal with. 21 goals so far in the playoffs, only 1 goal allowed for this Wisconsin Rapids River Kings team. Very strong showing for them so far. Then you move to the other matchup. You got Dell's Ducks, Lucas's pick, taking on the Steele County Blades. And I'm going to surprise everyone here. I think the Blades might have it in them to take it to the Ducks. What do you think about that prediction?
Well, I think you're entitled to your own opinion, no matter how wrong it might be. I'm still a huge Ducks fan. I'm over here quacking day in and day out. I think the Ducks have what it takes. I think they have an entire team full of talented defensemen, talented shooters, talented goaltenders. They have the drive, the determination, and the preparation, which is so important out in the Midwest.
Yeah. My doctor told me the Dell's Ducks were going to lose. I'd tell him he's a quack. We're moving on here to the Charlotte Rush Florida Junior Blades in the USP3. We talked about the Charlotte Rush in the Open, 4-0 in each of the divisions, the USP3 and Elite. Both going to Boston. Going to be a nice little bus ride up for the whole team, right? They're going to get the ride together. How do you beat these two teams when you're in the USP3 level? These have been the two clear-cut favorites. The Charlotte Rush, the Florida Junior Blades. Florida Junior Blades 43-1. One loss. The team that beat them no longer involved out of the playoff race. How do you find a way to beat them?
Well, I think if you're going to beat the Rush, you're going to have to stop their offense. You're going to have to limit their opportunities, try not to take any penalties, and if you do and you are on the penalty kill, you've got to try to kill it as best you can, because they will take advantage of every single opportunity you give them. But as far as the Florida Junior Blades go, we were talking about this a little bit off camera as well, because it's just been a blast to watch them this year, and especially to have them call me out in person for picking against them. But I think the way to beat the Florida Junior Blades, Dan, is you're actually going to have to play their brand of hockey.
Yeah.
You're going to have to open the ice up, because they've shown that they are able to change their style to fit any team that they're playing. Whatever style they're playing, they've got your number.
Yep.
So as a team, I think your best option is to turn the tide a little bit on them. You're going to want to open the ice up. You're going to want to take shots down on the forecheck. You're just going to have to take some slap shots from the blue line and see what happens. But the last thing you want to do, is you don't want to allow the Florida Junior Blades to play their game.
Yeah. Yep.
You have to force them to play your game. And if that means taking some chances, I'm always a believer in high risk, high reward.
Yep. You're going to have to take some chances against the Florida Junior Blades team. You're going to have to put shots on net. No shot's a bad shot when you're playing a team this talented. It's tough to get shots on net, though. It's tough to get control of the puck. You watch this team play, and there's a lot of times where they control the puck 90% of the game. Their next level, their depth is incredible. This is a team that's going to be difficult to deal with. Moving to my final story of the day here. We moved to the Hampton Roads Whalers, and as I go to that, I'm going to throw away Orioles notebook. I have a tiny little Orioles notebook I kept with us today to make sure we could keep up with all the storylines. But we've got the biggest storyline here, and that's the game of the year. Hampton Roads Whalers. Again, we said the Wizard of Osmondson ties it in the final minute. This is a team, Lucas, who was on the brink of elimination in the first round. They go out to Atlanta. They get beat in Game 1. They're down a game. In Game 1, they got to come back and win 2. They do. Then they go out and they beat the Florida Eels twice. Down 4-3 in the final minute of the first game of the series. What do you chalk up the magic of Monkovich and Osmondson to?
Well, I think to the untrained eye, it is magic.
Yeah.
It is some otherworldly power that the two of them have. But we've been watching this duo for a long time. We've watched them for 2 years now, and they are just dynamite together. Those are two guys that when they are on the ice, things happen.
Yep. I mean, these guys, it's tough to deal with them when they get themselves out here to Boston. This is a team that just 2 weeks ago thought, maybe our season's over. Maybe this is it. Maybe we've reached the end of the road. Now they're going to be taking that beautiful double-decker bus up in there to Boston, and they're going to be saying, how about them apples? You thought the Hampton Roads Whalers were? Were you talking to me? No, you weren't. The Hampton Roads Whalers going to the ship, going to Boston, all in it, all involved. Let's see who's going to take home a title. Coming back with the empty net right after this. Welcome to the Empty Net, our favorite segment of the show where you at home get to talk to us on the show. We've had a lot of teams talking to us, Lucas. Just how exciting has it been to watch this playoffs run through the perspective of some of the teams in this league?
Oh, it's been great. We love talking to teams and fans on Twitter. We've had some great engagement over the weekend. We've had fun, talking to teams, congratulating them on wins, retweeting highlights, talking about box scores. Engaging with teams and fans on Twitter is definitely one of the best parts of the show from my perspective.
It's the best part of the show. We love when you guys reach out to us. We're going to be, again, doing this show all summer long. More topics, more content, more interviews, more exclusive Dan K Show fun. You're going to get to see these two guys talking all the time. We're going to have a fun guests. We're going to have innovative talk. We're going to be talking about things you've never heard of because we're going to keep you entertained. We love to keep you entertained, and we love watching USPHL hockey. Lucas, we'll see if the Picks can win it. We'll see if the Bruins can get over the hump. We'll see what's happening out here in this Premier League. We'll see what's happening in the Elite, the USP3. We're going to see some great hockey coming up. You got the Youth Championships in Jersey this weekend. You've got just a week and a half left of waiting for the finals, for the Deneen Cup finals. Can't wait to see who wins. Lucas, can't wait for your final words here, parting words from Lucas Jones. That's how you perform in playoff time. You want to know crunch time? You want to know the guys who step up? I'm the guy, you know what I mean? I go out there and I score 60 goals during the season, Rick Nash style, and then I hide in a hole. This is the guy who comes in and just Brad Marchand's one into the back of the net. This is the guy who gets it done. This is my LA King right here. This is Jonathan Quick, you know what I mean? I'm injured all year. Boom, Stanley Cup coming at you from the 8th seed. That's what this guy is. This guy, he's Dan K. He wears cool suits, and he's happy you're watching the Dan K Show each and every week. We're coming back next week with the finals, the USPHL finals coming at you. Road to Boston going to be ending next week. We'll be there. We'll be bringing it to you. We're going to be hoping that you're watching each and every night. Dan K on the mic. It's always hockey night. Remember that. Keep watching. Hi, Dan K Show Perspective Edition. I'm Dan, and I'm close up.
And I'm Lucas, and I'm far away.
Look at how much taller my head looks than Lucas's body from this angle.
But we're actually the same size.
Whoa!
Well, now, don't patronize me.
I'm sorry. You're right. Okay. Let me stand here.
Yeah.
Dan K Show from a weird angle.
Actually, for
this
perspective,
almost
I should stand here.
That actually does make sense.
Right? Because that's how they film The
I
Hobbit.
should stand here. It is. That is how they film The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Frodo, hello. My name's Bilbo Baggins. That's The Hobbit.
Okay.
But Bilbo is in Lord of the Rings. Do not test me on
I
Lord
wish
of the Rings.
that they had made that a better movie.
God no, not my wife is in there. Get away from him!
Off this back.
Get out there. You're gonna get killed, dude. Stop coming back. You stay. He's back. He's back. Turn. No! Lucas! I couldn't get him. No, he's back on another fly again.
No, I think I stunned him. Look at him. He went straight to the air. He is.
Dan K Show Murder Edition.